Let's start with a brief summary. This article, written by Paul Graham in 2019, asserts that the journey of discovering something new is often hidden under the shadow of the misleading assumptions we hold, which is why we are frequently accused of heresy. Graham points out that there is a dead zone of undiscovered ideas around each misleading assumption, and that this zone is actually a mine of new ideas. He emphasizes that the discovery of ideas requires overcoming misleading assumptions and standing up to criticism. Before we dive in, I want to share a quick note about how this podcast is created. As you've probably noticed, this podcast isn't voiced by a human, but by artificial intelligence. I'm obligated to inform you of this beforehand due to the rules of AI services. This podcast is made possible by our sponsor, Wope.com, an AI startup that combines content marketing with artificial intelligence to significantly boost traffic and revenue of your startups. For all the latest content, be sure to follow me at x.com yigitkoner. Now, let's turn our attention back to the essay, Exploring New Ideas Beyond Misconceptions, a Journey from Novelty to Heresy. Original title, Novelty and Heresy, date November 2019. If you discover something new, there's a significant chance you'll be accused of some form of heresy. To discover new things, you have to work on ideas that are good but non-obvious. If an idea is obviously good, other people are probably already working on it. One common way for a good idea to be non-obvious is for it to be hidden in the shadow of some mistaken assumption that people are very attached to. But anything you discover from working on such an idea will tend to contradict the mistaken assumption that was concealing it. And you will thus get a lot of heat from people attached to the mistaken assumption. Galileo and Darwin are famous examples of this phenomenon, but it's probably always an ingredient in the resistance to new ideas. So it's particularly dangerous for an organization or society to have a culture of pouncing on heresy. When you suppress heresies, you don't just prevent people from contradicting the mistaken assumption you're trying to protect. You also suppress any idea that implies indirectly that it's false. Every cherished mistaken assumption has a dead zone of unexplored ideas around it, and the more preposterous the assumption, the bigger the dead zone it creates. There is a positive side to this phenomenon, though. If you're looking for new ideas, one way to find them is by looking for heresies. When you look at the question this way, the depressingly large dead zones around mistaken assumptions become excitingly large mines of new ideas.